Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing with our guests, and Tokwe had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier that during the week, this International Women's Week, the day and week, we talk a lot about these things. But since when I was born, I've been hearing women empowerment. Actually, there's women empowerment program. Until now, we still have to do women empowerment program. Are we really empowering women with those women empowerment program? And what would be the most, from your experience with empowerment, where do we miss it with this empowerment? What do we really need to do to achieve true empowered women?
Gosh, it's tough. I mean, I had conversations with women yesterday, and you can find a lot of people are kind of frustrated. You say, we are always saying we have moved forward, then it's as if we take 10 steps back and all that. But one of the things I must say is that if we look back in the last 20 years, you mentioned you've been hearing from since you were a child, there has been some changes. When we started life, we didn't have women that were CEOs of organizations, that were strong CEOs of organizations. I mean, the banking sector now, you can count at least 10 women. You know, in the sector, in your sector, you can count women that are sitting and they are a voice. Not just sitting at the table, but they are a voice. So there have been some changes. But we have a long way to go. And we can't stop because we have a generation of younger girls coming and looking, and we have daughters that we are seeing, cousins, nieces. So we just have to continue it. And I think the missing link for me is the fact that there's some policies that are not helping to push this forward. And we have to go back to that and say, okay, we are trying as best as we can to speak out, to be a voice, to give a table, to give a chair, whatever it is. But we must begin to see how do we change some policies. Because look, the banking sector, because the policy was changed, and they insisted on having women at the table. And that's why we can see it. And it has taken them how many years, but we can see it. And I think if we go back to policies, we might be able to move faster than we are doing right now.
Yeah, that also brings me to what I wanted to ask, which is we now see a lot of women in the corporate world having positions, CEOs, MDs, which is good, and it's encouraging to a lot of us coming behind. But when it comes to politics, we haven't gotten there yet. And I know that will make a major difference, because then, like you rightly said, the policies will now begin to change when you have representation. But I want to ask you, do you think our environment is ready to have women play a pivotal role in politics? Do you think we're there yet? Or are we rushing it because the world is shouting women empowerment, women liberation, feminism and all of that?
We're not rushing anything. Our parents and grandparents have... My grandmother used to be a women activist, and I mean, so she's been doing it then. Mother has come, child has come, even my own has come too. So I don't think we're rushing it. I just think that we have to now be focused on it. A lot of us are still not careful when it comes to the political arena, and we're not also as supportive as we should be to the women that even dare to go there. I just think we just need to do better and now be a bit more conscious on the fact that, okay, what do we as a people, even in your own small environment, even in your church or your mosque, there must be something that you can do to speak out and say, okay, why are we doing this way? What can we do better? Who are the men out there that can even support these women if they decide to go and run? And going back to it, we need the men. We can never ever do it on our own. We need the men at the table. We need them to sit with us. We need them to push us as well. And so we cannot. And I never say it's not a battle between one gender or the other.
Do you think there's a fear and insecurity? I don't want to say so that they don't come after me, but
they will come after you.
Do you think that the men are quite afraid of pushing women so far when it comes to leadership?
No.
Okay.
I just feel that we have to have that mindset that it's not a battle. It's not a battle of two genders. Because once you see it as a battle, we're fighting, you will always knock heads. We need to be able to come, the way we have had conversations over the years about bringing out women, doing things better for women, it's the same thing we have to speak to. We have fathers in the house, we have husbands, we have, when I talk to fathers, I'm always saying that, your daughter, how is she doing? He said, oh, she's doing great. No, she's doing a master's. I'm like, wow. I said, but what table is she going to sit on? Like he sits down and starts to think. It's true. My daughter wants to be the first president. I say, how is she going to get there? So we have to just find ways to gather more of them to say, okay, they have to, we are still in an environment where a lot of times men have to speak out for us, and we have them. We just need to just persuade them.
Yes, and understand.
Okay, so women supporting women and women really supporting women. How do we get women to collaborate instead of compete, so that we can be able to drive meaningful?
5 of us here. I've been supporting you for 12 years. You don't know me, but I've been so. When people say that, I'm like, some men don't support men, some women don't support women, some women. We always have some people that will not do these things. But if I tell my story, I've over the years had women that have supported me, many women that have opened the door, dragged me inside, pushed the table, changed the chairs just for me to get in. And I've also had men do the same thing for me. So I feel that it's something that people use just to say, oh, let us. If you support people, people will support you. So it's a two-way thing. But collaboration is still key, as you said. Partnerships are still important. We all have to do this together. And we just have to find ways. And it can be in your little corner. And even speaking to your son from this age, telling him that, that position in the school, a woman can get. And he understand, oh, wow. And he understanding his mindset begins to change from an early age.
Let me ask you about friendships. How do you pick your inner circle, your closest? Because yes, we know women support women and all that, but there's always, as you grow, some friends fall off.
And she has a community.
I do.
So how do you keep that community close? How do you pick those people?
You have to be a friend to them for them to be your friend. A lot of times we're in a generation where people just think you take. And oh, they're not my people. I don't want new people. I'm just like, you give and get. And I have a tribe. I've had a tribe for years.
Yes, and they're high flying. Sometimes I'm wondering, did you people knew you were going to be flying?
How did you
do it? I think for us, it was just from the beginnings, do we understand each other, value-based? When something is going wrong, is the person there for me? Am I there for them? And we've just kind of grown over the years from secondary school to university. Now we're all at a certain age. Our children are friends. Wow. So
that's sweet.
I must say I'm totally blessed. And I've had this tribe of women over the years. Doesn't mean I've not added a few more. And my few more have become friends to my tribe. And it's grown even bigger. But in selecting, every person needs a person. You cannot do this walk of life alone. It's impossible. No matter how much you say, I want to protect my heart. They too are protecting their own too as well. And you need your cheerleaders. You need someone that will tell you you're doing wrong. And you have to be open and flexible to listen when people tell you the truth. But you have to trust them enough to give you the truth as well.
As an addendum to that question, when it comes to issues of pressure, so your friend is doing very well, she has some cash, and you feel like you're not doing enough. And as a woman, you're thinking, okay, how do I don't want to feel as if I'm being jealous, but I also want to support her, but I also feel inadequate. So a lot of women feel they don't want to be friends with you because they don't want to feel inadequate. So how do you help carry your friends along in that kind of, as you're growing up?
Everybody's journey in life is different. She might be doing well today, and it's your turn tomorrow, my turn next tomorrow. And you must understand it from the very beginning. Everybody is different. I have friends that they've been doing motherhood for 20 years. They've not gone into careers, and now they're just starting a business in this our age, and we're all there applauding. And when they were raising their children, we're applauding too. I was giving my children to them too at that time to hold. And when something has to do with business and they had no understanding, they were coming to me. You have to realize that everyone is different. And that thing of jealousy, sometimes it might come to your mind and think, and then you remind yourself. And if you have good friends, you can talk to them about it. Look at I felt so pained. Then they'll say, don't worry, your time too is coming. And that's the only way you can sustain a relationship, even in business. Your business cannot be doing well all the time. There will be challenges. There's good times and there are bad times. Challenging times and failure times. And you must be able to gather yourself in between those seasons. Seasons must come and go.
Okay, so let me ask you, in this your tribe, because it's inevitable, conflicts must come up.
100%. We're always fighting.
So do you guys have rules on how you guys can resolve these conflicts when they come up?
Conflict resolution.
Rules are important.
Because rules are important. I think our conflicts do not, the way it's done, our conflicts cannot pass a certain time. We understand that people must go through pain. and they must. And we also say, if you're feeling it, you must speak to somebody. So if you are going through a conflict, you speak to me, and because I know that you're not very happy with her, I can tell her, and I tell the person, you must listen to her pain, and it's just a season. Let her go through it and come out of it. But it's very, very clear. I tell my sister friends, we're friends for life, except you throw my child from the roof or something drastic. But
there's nothing you can.
There's nothing. What is it? Like, is it the cup you took? Or you took my car, you didn't bring it back. There's some things that...
my husband, what's the big deal?
Well, let me say that. Don't go to an extreme. Don't let the women come at us. We're not encouraging that.
No, not at all.
But I think that the conflicts can be resolved. And as you grow in your journey of life, you realize that some things are not that important. And then these people are more important than the basic of, you didn't call me yesterday, we're not there for my birthday. What's the big deal? You didn't post me on my birthday, so what? People forget. In fact, I will even send the picture to you. I said, this is the picture you should post to. I should post at 7 a.m. in the morning. And everybody will laugh at me. But it's a beauty. That's the beauty of it. Understanding each other.
So I want us to go back into the non-for-profit and the room that needs to be filled, especially in Nigeria, because we have MacArthur Foundation, we have MasterCard, we have Ford Foundation,
we have our own ACT Foundation.
We have ACT Foundation. I wanted to come from
to
global,
the older ones,
the older ones to local, and you've seen the ones that did not work. What are the things we can do to make this non-for-profit sector, which every business should have? Every business has CSR that they do, but they don't. We're not organizing it enough to sustain long term. How can we? What's the gap that we need to be conscious of when creating our foundations and CSR to sustain and make it as big as ACT, as Ford, as all the others?
Oh wow! I think a lot of us go into it out of passion, and passion does not feed people. It doesn't run a business. That passion of I'm very passionate about what I do. If everybody knows me, but I still in my mind it's a business. And I'm very, very careful about it. I don't play with it at all. The bottom line is important. And so that's what kills a lot of the NGOs, because maybe the first year daddy dies, you start an NGO, Osayi Alile Foundation. Everybody donates to you because they are so pain. My daddy loved them and everything. The second year you go to them, they might come again. By the fourth year, what are you making? How are you going to sustain the business? You're not thinking about it because you had ready money waiting. And then you're not structuring the business to survive. There's no HR policy, there's nothing happening. They're just running a business because of passion and a mission to do. Mission to do is good when you're doing it as a one-off thing. But if you want to run any business, NGO, social enterprise, foundation, that is business, you have to run it like understanding the rudiments. The foundation must be very strong. Because challenges will come. There'll be a year, 2 years that you will not get any money.
Can you get a bit more practical? Like, okay, these women that are empowered now, they open accounts with
they must
bank, and then they will run the bank. I want to understand what you...
Let me just tell you, first of all, you must understand that a business must have a strategy. That strategy must be, even if it's basic strategy. What are we going to do this month? What are we doing next month? What are we doing? Who are the trustee? Who are the 4 people that can answer to this business? You call them out. What are the, what account? Let's not keep the money with somebody, Osayi's account. Let's go and register the business, put that money in account, very, very clear. And then also, because if you're opening with other people, make sure that there are rules and regulations. If something happens, what do we do? A lot of these NGOs, maybe you have 2 partners, 3 partners, and something happens and they fight, and the community suffers for it. That's what always happens, because everybody goes in their own separate ways. So we have to be very clear. How do we have mediation when these things do occur? And there are so many organizations that are teaching even basic community. I mean, go to a faith foundation. There's so many, and I'm calling their names because I know them. I worked with them over the years. So they can teach you how to run it and how to run it well.
So
don't just start it because you just feel anyhow. Because if you start anyhow, you will end it anyhow.
But there's also we have a break here.
Come back to today's conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.